Welcome back to Sky Class. This is a brief tutorial where I will be explaining how to use some advanced markup capability to vary the way that Alexa delivers your content. Now, I'm not going to explain how you create a class or add content to it. I assume you've already done that. There's another tutorial that shows you how to do that. But as you're editing a slide, so you're creating some of the content that Alexa is going to deliver, some of the spoken content, you're going to notice that there's a button panel underneath the window with a series of buttons in it. These buttons are the currently implemented directives that you can apply to the content, and you can change the way that Alexa says things. So the way you're going to do that and the way you're going to use this is first highlighting some of the content that you've entered. We're going to pick this sentence right here, and then we're going to apply the first of the buttons to that section of content. This is a whisper capability. By clicking this, you're going to see that some tags were added to the main content window. This is going to tell Alexa that when she gets to this sentence, she needs to whisper it. There's a beginning tag, you're going to see the pointy brackets, and then there's an ending tag. These have to remain intact for this to be delivered. If you make changes to these tags and don't follow the formatting that's added, you will break this, and when this content is given to Alexa, she will not be able to deliver any content at all. You'll get an error. It'll say something along the lines of Alexa's unable to deliver the content that she's being provided. So after you make these edits, you're going to want to go back and listen to the slides to make sure everything's worked out well. But your best move here is not to change any of the content within these tags, only the things that are in between the brackets here, the content that you're modifying. So the whisper tag will cause Alexa to start whispering this sentence, and then it'll end at the end of this sentence, and then she'll go back to speaking normally. So that's one of the effects that you can add. There are a number of other effects that you can add. You can add the effect to cause her to downplay something that she's saying. This will be called the reduced emphasis button. When you click that, what it does is her volume goes down slightly and she speaks a little bit faster. This is the enhanced emphasis or increased emphasis, strong emphasis. If you click this button, when she gets to it, she'll speak more slowly and loudly. So it draws out what she's saying. It's a little bit more dramatic if you put this tag around a bunch of content. There are a number of other things here. This one is expletive. So what this is she'll treat the content surrounded by this tag as if it's a bad word, and so she'll bleep it out. So that's what this content means here, expletive. This is basically bleeped. So she'll say this is in contrast to things bleep have not yet happened. So if you kind of want to do something funny and make it sound like she's swearing, without actually putting a swear word in here, you can do it this way, and it'll automatically bleep out anything that you want. Of course, you could put in a real swear word, and then the system will bleep it for you automatically. This next tag here is an important one. It's a tag that allows Alexa to make some kind of an exclamation. So we'll highlight that, booyah, and interjection. And what this will do when she gets to this, this will be shouted out as if it's the actual expression. She'll get to this and she won't say booyah, she'll say booyah, just like that. There's a collection, there's specific words that work inside of this tag. Not every word you put in here will work. You have to use one of their approved words, but it's a rather long list. So on the page on the website where this video exists, I'm going to include a link that will help you get to the page on the Amazon website where you can read the list. So you can add a bunch of funny little expressions like this into your content, add a little bit of extra color to it. This tag here is a tag that allows you to have one thing in the copy but have her say something different. So let's say, for example, you wanted to put a word in and Alexa doesn't say it quite right for some reason. Or maybe it's an abbreviation, but you don't want her to abbreviate it. But you do want it abbreviated in the copy, because the copy is what's also delivered to the student's cell phone. So they're looking at their Alexa app and they're getting whatever you've put in here. But maybe you don't want Alexa to say the thing that they're reading in the content for whatever reason. You can assign an alias to it. So you could say, for instance, AFK, and but maybe you don't want her to say AFK. What you want her to actually say is away from keyboard. If you go like that, then what happens is, this is actually what's in the copy, AFK, but when she gets to this section, she'll say away from keyboard instead. But what the student will see in their app, they won't see any of these tags. What they'll see is AFK. So this is a way you can change the thing. And you could use this as well for a word that she's not pronouncing correctly. You could give her a way of saying it that sounds the way that she should be saying it, but you don't want to actually spell it that way for the student. Some of the other tags here are, you can lower the pitch, so her voice will go down a little bit, and you can higher the pitch, her voice will go up a range. There are times, so you can use that if you want to punctuate a sentence and you want her voice to drop a little bit on a couple words, or go up, lift a little bit, like you would lift your voice toward the end of a sentence. You can have her do that for any part of a sentence. So you can vary the tone a little bit of the sentence. You can emphasize it, and then you can change the pitch a little bit. So you can make her emphasize different parts of a sentence and pronounce it, say it a little bit differently, and maybe in a way that makes a little bit more sense for your content. You can also have her say content more slowly or say it more quickly. These are options that you have. All these buttons work the same way. You bracket the content, you highlight the content you want to work this way, and then you click the button, and it will bracket that content, beginning and end of that content, with the tags. And again, be very careful and don't edit those tags. There are a few other buttons here at the end. This one is a delay button. So if you want to put a half-second pause, maybe there's a pause. Maybe you wanted her to get to a word and you want there to be a dramatic pause before she reads that word. You can put a half-second pause, or you can put a 1-second pause in the copy right there. You can put more than one. If you wanted her to pause several seconds, you could put several of these in, or you could edit it. So if you go like that, you're going to see this tag appear, which is a break time tag designated at 1 second. You can make this any number you want, up to 10 seconds. It can't be greater than 10 seconds, or you'll get an error. But you can make it 2 seconds, so a very, very pronounced pause before she reads this word. And then finally, the last button in the series here is a clear button. What it does is it gets rid of tags. So if you want to get rid of this last tag, for instance, you can highlight that section, press this button, and it'll just remove that tag. You can get rid of all the tags in the entire copy by highlighting it and clicking this button as well. It'll go back to normal. It'll clean them all out. So, but this is a way to selectively eliminate those tags. Just make sure that if you eliminate one set of tags, that you're getting both the beginning and end tags. If it's one of the ones with beginning and end tags, as are all the ones up here until the time delay, you want to make sure you've captured both the beginning and the end. If you leave an end tag, get rid of the beginning tag, then again you're going to get an error, and none of the content of the entire slide will be delivered. You'll get to that point as Alexa's about to queue up this slide, and she'll say there was an error, and the skill will end at that point. So you want to go back, make sure all your content works, it's valid, and that there's no errors in it before you actually give students access to it. Alright, that's the end of our tutorial.